Alrighty, good evening everybody. Stephen Howson here, obviously. It's just about coming up to midnight. Last couple of fan cams are just going live. I'll release this after those are in the can and out and released. 3 points, which I think is the headline from today. I don't think the performance was as good as Chelsea. I don't think the performance was as good as some of the ones where we've failed to get all 3 points. West Ham, even Leicester, we probably deserved the win more than we did today. Overall, I thought we was good for the win, even if it wasn't the best performance. That turn from Mata in the first half, he should have done better with that. Rooney should have done better with one. He had Marshall to his right as an option. Performance, not great. 3 points, great. If we keep picking up wins like that, then we're gonna make a dent in this top four. This is a crazy league, isn't it? This moment, at the moment. If Arsenal would have dropped points today, we could have been within 6 or 7 points of them, despite 2 months of horrendous results. City was losing at Watford, pulled it out in the last 10 minutes, managed to get themselves a victory. It's nuts, isn't it? But that's football. It'd be rubbish if it was predictable. Can you imagine how boring the Scottish League is at the moment while Rangers aren't in there and it's just Celtic turn up 2-0 every single week. No effort. Oh, we won the league. Nice one. What makes victories good is adversity. You saw the celebrations Manchester City had when they finally managed to get that banner down from the Stretford end when they won the FA Cup and then when they won the league. Because they've been through some shit. The real City fans, the ones that have been there forever. Not the ones that are just jumped ship from Chelsea and just joined them since 2008's happened. We're going through our adversity at the moment, and it ain't that bad, is it really? We're fifth. We're fifth in a poor league, yeah, but we're still fifth. There's no little asterisks like, oh, you only scraped into the Champions League because everyone else was shit. You got into the Champions League. The progression this season, when you look at the last 2 months, is hard to cement and it's hard to argue. That's why I'm all for time. If we'd have made a rash decision and sacked Van Gaal, we'd be going into a transfer window with a new manager, with a team he doesn't know, and he's going to look to blow a right load of cash, and then you're looking for those players to settle. That's a nightmare. There's been times when managers should have been sacked, and they didn't get sacked. There's been times when managers should have been kept on, and they didn't get kept on. I think Louis van Gaal came very, very close to getting a sack, probably after the Stoke result, I think. But he didn't. He stayed on. And I thought there was an element that he may have lost the dressing room. I hate that cliche. I do think there was an element he might have lost the dressing room. But the Chelsea game shown us that he hadn't. The players really looked like they had a lot of urgency in them. They did today as well. And the same thing today happened at Chelsea, where we started off so fast, so ruthless, apart from being clinical in the final third. But we faded. Now, I'm not sure if that's a fitness thing. I'm not sure if that's I don't know what it is. But I noticed that against Chelsea and tonight again against Swansea, that we did fade in the final third. I've also been reading up on some really interesting stats in terms of what United allow, in terms of shots, how much time United spend leading in matches. And I'm going to throw something up in a blog probably tomorrow, maybe Monday, which highlights these, because it's mega interesting reading if you're a stats geek like I am. And it backs up the sort of thing that I've been saying, is that defensively we're very good. And we haven't been defensively very good for years, especially even under Sir Alex Ferguson. We was awful defensively. The midfield hasn't been good since since Keano went, really. It's not been a formidable midfield. The last time we had a decent midfield was probably 2008, and that was, an ageing Paul Scholes, a pretty fresh Carrick, but an injury-prone Owen Hargreaves. So it wasn't cast iron like, say, 99-2000 sort of era midfield. I like our midfield at the moment. I like Schneiderlin. I think he's massively, massively underrated, and I think the reason that results have looked like they've turned around since he's come back into the team Because he's come back into the team. It's a funny one, isn't it? I think I agree with a lot of people saying you can't play 2 defensive midfielders at home. I get that. Today it seems to switch around from 2 in the middle to 3 in the middle to sometimes 1 in the middle, which I like about Louis van Gaal. He is very fluid in his tactics, and his teams are very fluid, and that's because as a large part, I say it quite a lot, formation can be largely irrelevant, especially with the ball. Without the ball, it does play a lot in part where people are, but when you've got the ball, formation does not mean too much, because you'll see on paper it'll be 4-4-2, let's say, but the fullbacks don't sit here when we get the ball. The fullbacks will go past the midfield quite often, or be at least level with the midfield, especially if you've got overlapping fullbacks. So formation can be largely irrelevant. But Louis van Gaal is not afraid to stick with it. In the abuse he gets, people, that's another thing people go on about. They say Van Gaal's stubborn. Of course he's stubborn. Anyone who's successful is stubborn. You don't get to be a top-class manager by not believing your own bullshit, if you like, by not wholeheartedly backing yourself. You don't get to that level by not being stubborn. Everyone who's successful is stubborn. If a manager was like, starts it first 10 minutes, didn't believe in it, changed it after 25 minutes, changed it at half time, just on a whim, you'd have no confidence in him, would you? So I don't think stubborn should be used as a criticism for our manager, but it always is. Something else I've been thinking of at the moment, and I was lucky enough to ask Andy Cole a question. I'm not sure where it's going out on, but I asked Andy Cole a question earlier. Him and Dwight York, obviously one of the best partnerships Manchester United have ever seen, and I think there's a very good chance that was the last time we played with 2 strikers up front, because after York and Cole moved on, we signed Rude, and then it sort of went into that weird phase where Rooney and Ronaldo, and it wasn't really much of a settled partnership. I don't think it was the last time we played 4-4-2, or at least 2 up front. I think that was the last great partnership that we've had at United. I certainly can't think of one off the top of my head. Stick it in the comments actually if you can think of one, because I can't think of a partnership. In 2008-2009, Berbatov played there, but we also had Tevez, and I think we went more like a 4-3-3. We certainly didn't have a 2 up front partnership. We had Rooney playing wide left, we had Ronaldo playing wide right. People moved around on it, it was a lot more transient. But anyway, so I asked Andy Cole, do you think there's any room for a 2-striker system in modern football? And if Manchester United played that, do you think that's something that could turn our season around? I'd be really interested to find out that actually, because it seems like everyone plays 1 up front. At the moment, City are playing 2 up front, Watford are playing 2 up front, and it's working for them to an extent, isn't it? Now that might be a bit ballsy for Louis van Gaal. I wouldn't mind him seeing it. I do think you'd probably get the best out of Marshall if you played him in the middle alongside someone like Rooney. I think the space that them two could create together would be better than what they're doing in the current sort of setup, especially if we do bring a winger in. If we bring a winger into the level of, say, Mane, he seems to be getting linked, Mahrez, if we could bring someone like that in and play 2 up front, I think we'd start raining goals, and that would be really entertaining for us to see. Not sure it's going to happen, but a boy can dream. Oh, anyway, yeah, I mentioned in the video earlier this morning, I cocked up, didn't I, with the thingy, so I said anyone who's resubscribed, so Ben Patterson, I'll message you, here's what you're getting. So it's a Man United pen, little Parker pen thing for you, inbox us your address, and I'll post it to you. How's that? Winner. So thanks for watching, a little bit of a 10-minute waffle or so, whatever it's been here. Please subscribe, and let's see if we can have some fun with this video. I'm going to try and do a video a day, so this could end up talking all sorts of shite, but I am going to try and do a video a day, and just do a little bit of venting on my own. Thanks for watching, give it a thumbs up, share it and subscribe. Cheers.